Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Blair. Today I'm going to be trying out some new makeup. I've kind of accumulated a pretty decent group here of new products that I have not tried, and I just wanted to try them all out in a video. These videos I look forward to filming so much. Trying new makeup is just one of my favorite things in the whole world. So we have tons of new things to try today. I have the new Dermablend CC Cream. I have the new NARS Cream Bronzer. I have the Sigma Ambiance Palette and some other new things too. So if you're interested in this look and getting ready with me, please keep watching and let's go ahead and get into it. So I have not tons, but I have a good many new things that I've never used, and I like to kind of accumulate things for a while before I film one of these videos. So I just like to try a bunch of new things at once. So the first thing that I have, and I feel like everybody has tried this already except me, but it's the Fenty Beauty Bright Fix, the eye brightener. And this, I don't know if they consider this a color corrector or if it's supposed to just be like a brightening concealer. I don't know. I'm gonna use it as a color corrector and see how it is. So this is the packaging. It's really cute and simple. I got the shade Melon because I wanted to use it as a corrector shade. I hope it's not gonna be too light. So there is the shade Melon. I think they also had one called Deep Melon, maybe. I can't remember. And that might have been better of a corrector shade for me, but we'll try this out. The applicator on this is like a little, you just basically squeeze out the product. That's kind of wish it was like a doe foot or something, because I feel like that's going to be hard to know or hard to control how much you're getting out, but we'll see. So I'm just gonna take some on my finger and I'm gonna try just tapping it in. Okay, so this side looks pretty good, but I've said this before, I don't have as much darkness on my right eye as I do on my left eye. So I am gonna take what's left on the back of my hand. I'm just gonna kind of tap over it with a brush. I'm definitely much more of a brush person than using my fingers. Okay, so let me get my mirror and look up close here. Looks pretty good, actually. I mean, it definitely didn't correct totally, but it definitely did brighten up under my eyes, which is the goal. I bet if I had gotten Deep Melon, this probably would have been a little bit more of a correcting shade. It's a very thin formula, which I like. It's not thick or cakey feeling. And it definitely looks pretty hydrating on my under eyes. So far, I'm not sure. I'm undecided. I don't know if I can say I like it as much as the NARS Creamy Corrector. And actually, I have mine sitting here, so I'm gonna apply just a little tiny bit of this, like one little dot on my inner corners. This, as you can, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this is definitely peachier than the Melon shade, but I feel like if I had gotten Deep Melon maybe in the Fenty, that would have been closer to this color. I'm just gonna very lightly tap this in. I definitely think the NARS has more pigment to it as well. The Fenty is a little more on the sheer side. which could be good for somebody that doesn't have like a ton of darkness. They just kind of want to brighten up a little bit under your eyes. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. For me, I like something that is pretty pigmented in terms of a corrector, because that kind of allows me to use whatever concealer I want. I don't have to worry as much about the, you know, the coverage level or really the concealer that I use if I correct my dark circles beforehand. So yeah, I like that a little bit more with a little bit of the NARS on top. Next, for my face, I got the new Dermablend CC Cream. So this is the Continuous Correction Full Coverage CC Cream with SPF 50. So obviously this is supposed to be, I assume, very similar to the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. I got the shade 25N Light 1. So I was just really curious about this. I haven't seen too many people talk about it, and honestly I have a love-hate relationship with the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. Some days I put it on and I like it. Some days I put it on and I don't like it at all. Some days I'm just like, I can kind of take it or leave it. So I don't really have a firm opinion on that product, but this really intrigued me. So this is what the tube looks like. It's a lot smaller than I thought. I did notice with these, which I thought was really interesting, they had a decent shade range, and all of these shades are considered neutral. Like they all had neutral undertones. In the names, at least, they all had N's next to them, which typically means more of a neutral undertone. So there is the shade. It looks like a pretty good shade for me. So this is 25N. So I'm going to blend this out with my Smashbox blurring foundation brush. Okay, so the color looks like a really good match for me so far. So the consistency of it is definitely not as thick, in my opinion, as the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. That is super, super thick. As soon as you pump it out, you can tell. This is a little more watery. Or not watery, but it's just not, doesn't have that thick consistency to it. Wow, this color, I love it when I match myself really well. Does anyone else like that? I'm so excited every time I buy a new foundation and I like nail the shade match. I love that. Okay, yeah, so this is totally different than the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. Just blending it out. It does not feel thick at all. Ooh. Okay, this looks so good. Oh my goodness. Wow. This, based on my first impression here, this is looks 1,000 times better on my skin than the IT Cosmetics for sure. Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna take what's left on my hand and kind of work it into my brush. Just kind of go over my face one more time. Hopefully you can see. So the finish on this is a natural finish to me. It's not super dewy. It definitely has a slight luminosity to it, but not anything crazy, and it doesn't look heavy. That's the thing with the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. Every time I wear that, unless you kind of tone it down with like a moisturizer or something, it just looks very thick to me on my face. So This does not look that at all, and I also don't even smell anything. The Cosmetics one, you know how it has that, has a very strong, distinct smell. This one, I don't smell anything. And it's SPF 50, which makes it even better. I mean, look how well it covered too. Like, you know, I have redness in my cheek area, and I didn't use very much product, and it covered really well. Wow. Okay, I'm so excited about this. For a concealer, you guys, I have to stay away from the cosmetics company store because that's why I got this concealer. I don't even know if this is a good shade for me, but we're gonna try it. It's the Tom Ford Emotionproof Concealer. I don't know anything about this concealer, but I had it at the cosmetic company store, and it was, I forget how much it was a lot less than the original price. So I guess I have a weakness for Tom Ford because I seem to not be able to resist when I go in that store. So anyway, this is the Emotionproof Concealer, and this is the shade Tawny, number 7. This may be a tiny bit, well, maybe not. I was gonna say this might be a little bit dark for me, but maybe not. That's probably okay. There is the shade Tawny. So yeah, I know nothing about this concealer. I honestly don't know that much about Tom Ford products in general, but this, you know, I love a good concealer. So we'll try this out. I'm just gonna do it on one eye first. It's very liquidy. And I have no idea about the coverage, so I'm just gonna go with that for now. And then I just got this brush, and it's the Sigma F03 brush. So I think it's actually a highlighting brush. Yeah, the high cheekbone highlighter brush. But I have seen several people using this for concealer, and every time I see it, I always think that looks like the most perfect size and shape for concealer. So I've been wanting to try it. So we will do that today. And we're just gonna tap this in. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a full coverage concealer from Tom Ford. I really don't know anything about it. So I would say this is a medium coverage. I would not call it full coverage, just with that little bit of product, but I'll add just a little bit more right in the center. And we'll just tap this out. Wow, okay, that color is actually perfect for me. I was afraid because if you go to the cosmetics company store right now, you can't touch anything at all. So you can't swatch anything. You kind of just have to guess in terms of shades. So I was not sure if that was gonna work for me, but actually that looks pretty good. I just love Tom Ford packaging. I know packaging is not everything, but I love a good bougie looking makeup product. Also love this brush based on using it this first time. It's very similar to the Real Techniques setting brush that I've been using, but it's a little bit, I think that it's a little bit bigger and the bristles are just a little bit fluffier, like it's a little bit easier to blend with. Moving on, my camera overheated, so I had to give it a few minutes. So I went ahead and did my eyebrows because I don't have any new brow products to use, but I do have a new bronzer. And this, I've had this and I just haven't tried it yet, so I wanted to use it in the video. This is the NARS, the new cream bronzer, and this is Laguna. I have always loved NARS Laguna, the powder. It's one of my favorite things, one of my favorite bronzers ever. So I'm so excited to use this. This is limited edition. I don't know why they would make this limited edition, but it is. There's the packaging. It's really pretty. But I have heard so many people say this is so pigmented. You have to be really, really careful with it. This, like I said, is Laguna, but I do have it in Casino as well. I think that one's a little bit darker. I've never tried NARS Casino in the powder or the cream, so I don't really know. So yeah, we're gonna use this. I'm a little nervous because I have seen so many people say you have to be careful with this product because it's a lot if you go in with too much. So I'm gonna use this brush. This is the Fenty 125 base brush. Okay, yeah, they're not kidding. This is extremely pigmented. You guys, I literally barely touched this bronzer. Like, I don't know if you can see, but I barely touched it at all. Oh yeah, that is a really pretty tone. That's what I've always thought about NARS Laguna, the powder, is, to me, it's a very neutral bronzer. Like, it's not super, super warm and intense, but it's definitely not cool either. It's like right in between. I think a lot of people love Casino, but I've never actually tried that shade, so I don't know anything about it, but I do love Laguna. I'm gonna go in with a little bit on my nose. Yeah, they are not kidding. You do not need a lot. Look what I just did to my nose. Hold on. Take my sponge and bounce it around. Put a little bit on my jawline and bring a little down my neck as well. Wow, but that is so pretty. Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm definitely gonna be getting a lot of use out of this. Have you guys tried this? Okay, for a blush, I got one of these. I ordered from Girlactik. I had never tried this brand before, but some of my favorite makeup artists to follow on Instagram are constantly using this brand. Makeup by K.I.S.S.I.N.G that I've talked about before, Melissa Herkman, K.I.S.S.I.N.G, they all use this Girlactik brand, and Melissa Herkman and K.I.S.S.I.N.G actually did a collab together with Girlactik, and you get like 5 of their favorite products from the brand, and this was one of them, and it's the Cheeky Tint Glow. So this is what it looks like, and this one is in the shade La Vie. So it's a cream, blush, and highlighter. So it's a really pretty champagne and then a peachy coral. So there is the cream blush. Ooh, that's a really nice color. They're very thin feeling, not sticky at all. I don't know if you can see that. A little bit of the highlighter right there. It's very subtle. So I'm excited to try these. I'm gonna take my finger and kind of tap the blush on. And then I'm gonna go over it a little with my Fenty brush. This Fenty brush, you guys, if you need a really good brush for cream products, this is it. This is such a good brush. It's a really dense, angled brush, and I don't know, something about the shape of it just works really well for your cheek, for bronzer and blush. I love it. Okay, so that is also very pretty. Very pigmented again, so you really don't need a lot. But I like this color. I don't have too many corally blushes like this. Actually, most of my blushes are more pinky toned or more of a nude tone. So this is something different for me. I'm obsessed slightly with green blush, you guys. Like, literally. I used to never, I've talked about this before, but I used to never want to wear blush. And now it's so funny to me. Like, I just over here piling it on. I love it. Also, by the way, this CC cream so far still looks so good. I'm so excited about that. Okay, that blush is really nice and pretty. Definitely has a little bit of a dewy, luminous finish to it, but not too much. So we'll take a little bit of the highlighter in here. Don't know how much of this to apply. I'm just gonna go, oh. How many times am I gonna say so pretty? Ah, oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, now I want to apply a little bit of powder. I can't remember if I used this in a video or not, because it's still in the box and I really don't remember using this at all. But I have the Kosas, the new powder, the Cloud Set powder. This is the shade Breezy. So I think this is supposed to be the light shade, so maybe the second to lightest color. I know a lot of people have really been loving this, so I'm curious to try it. So I'm going to use a little tiny bit under my eyes, and then I'm going to use it on my face as well. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Kosas powder with a little eyeshadow brush, and I'm just going to apply just a little tiny bit of this under my eyes. The consistency of this powder kind of reminds me of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush powder. It's kind of similar. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little bit more and just kind of lightly go down the center of my face and kind of around my mouth and just a little bit around like my jawline area. That powder is definitely a good color for me too. Let me look up close. I'm not the best judger of powders just because I'm not like a huge powder person, but I do like that this does not, my face doesn't look like I just mattified everything down and applied powder. It just kind of slightly reduced the luminosity, but like you can still see the glow, just not too much. Okay, for the eyes, I want to use this. I debated back and forth about buying this, but then something about this palette just spoke to me. It's the new Sigma Ambiance palette. I haven't even opened mine up yet. So as soon as I saw this one, for some reason, it just spoke to me. I don't know why. It's obviously a typical neutrals palette, but I just love it. I think the colors in here are so pretty. I feel like you get a really good mix of mattes and shimmers in here. And you also get this little dual-ended eyeshadow brush, which I thought was pretty cool. I already prepped my eyelids with my NARS eyeshadow base, and we're gonna go in with this palette. So I want to first go in with this shade, which is called Days. It's a very light brown, and I'm gonna put this as my crease shade. This is the brush that came in the palette. I'm gonna try to use this a good bit. That's a pretty shade. It's just very light. It's pretty. I'm gonna add a little bit more. I actually really like this shade. I feel like Sometimes I'm looking for a shade like this where it's like not as dark as a bronzer, but it's darker than like a skin tone shade. It's kind of like in between. I feel like this is kind of that kind of shade. Next, I'm gonna go in with, let's see, this shade, which is called Bask. Just a little bit darker and a little bit warmer than the first shade we used. And for this, we're gonna go just in the outer corner and slowly blend this up into the crease. Wow, so that shade is very pigmented. I did not use much shadow at all, and you can see there's a good bit of color payoff there. So this shadow formula is really buttery, like right off the bat. It's very very creamy. It's not difficult to blend, and they're obviously pretty pigmented. I'm gonna mix these two shades together, Oasis and Daylily. And I'm like, since I know these are super pigmented, I'm like barely tapping my brush in here. And I'm gonna use the smaller side of the brush and just kind of add a little bit of this just to the very outer corner. Like, I don't want a lot. I want it to get crazy. Same thing over here. I think I'm gonna go in with the shimmers now. Okay, I literally want to use every single shimmer in this palette. They are all so pretty. Okay, I think I'm gonna go in with the really gold color first, which is Sunflower. Yeah, so this is a really true gold. And I'm gonna tap this. Oh my gosh. Wow, I literally barely tapped my eye. Wow. Oh my gosh. I mean, I truly barely touched my eye. And look at that. Wow. Okay, that color is really nice. Let's see, what color do I want to use next? I think I'm going to go in with this one. This is Marigold. Kind of a light gold color. Actually looks kind of rose gold on my finger. So pretty. Okay. So I'm going to go in. Oh my gosh. I mean, that. Wow. That is so pretty. Oh my gosh. Now I want to go back into the very first shade that we used, Days. And I'm just gonna go over my edges again. Bring this in a little bit closer to my nose. You know what this palette reminds me of? It reminds me of the Naked Honey palette from Urban Decay, but it's not as golden. That palette is very yellowy gold, whereas this is just more, it's just more of a warm palette in general, not super, super yellowy. Do you know what I mean? But the color scheme reminds me of the Naked Honey palette, which I love. I think I want to use a brush that's a little more tapered. So I want to use my BK Beauty 202 brush. I'm going to go in with a little bit of the dark brown, which is called Enrich. I'm just going to tap just a little tiny bit of this in the very outer corner, like barely. I'm basically just using the tip of the bristles of this brush. Like, I'm barely touching my eye at all. So I really need to stop because I'm just gonna keep going. But I want to use this shade as well because this shade is just screaming at me. This Firefly is the name of it. Kind of looks similar to Marigold that I put on my lid here, but not, a little more gold, not so rose gold. I'm just gonna pat this in the very inner part of the lid. Okay, I am going to mix for the lower lash line a little bit of Basque and this shade, which is Daylily. Wow, these shadows are so pigmented. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of Firefly again with my finger and pop just a little bit in my inner corner. Okay, so I went ahead and put on some mascara and I added a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury eye powder pencil to my lash line. And now last but not least, we're gonna do the lips. So I don't have a new lip liner, but I think I'm gonna use this one. This is the KKW Beauty lip liner in Nude #1. I think this is a good color for the lipstick we're gonna use. And then for lipstick, I really tried not to buy this, but I have a weakness for Charlotte Tilbury. I just can't help it. And this is one of her new lipsticks from the Look of Love collection. This is, I think, the most nude shade. I think there's 3 or 4 shades, but this is Nude Romance. And I mean, look at this pretty packaging. The rhinestones. I mean, Charlotte Tilbury never disappoints me, truly. Ooh, okay, so yeah, that's it right there. It's a little bit of a deeper nude. This is also the K.I.S.S.I.N.G formula, which I really like. Oh, her lipsticks are so creamy. I love it. Okay, there's one more thing I want to put on top of this, I think. I want to put a little bit of this. This is the Tom Ford lip color satin matte lipstick in the shade La Nudité, I think is how you say it. Similar to the Charlotte Tilbury, just a tiny bit lighter. And then the last thing I have, this is also from the cosmetic company store, you guys. I've got to stop. I'm gonna have to limit myself to going to this store because I just cannot resist. I just cannot resist when I go there. But I got one of these. This is the Tom Ford lip gloss. I have a few of the lipsticks now, but I did not have a lip gloss, so I wanted to try this one. This is the shade number 13, Impulse. And it's just a pretty pink. Ooh, it smells like vanilla. Wow, that is a very creamy lip gloss. It almost feels like a lip oil. So nice. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. These are my favorite videos to film. I just obviously love trying new makeup. But I quickly wanted to give you some final thoughts on these products because most of what I used is new to me. You guys, the CC Cream, it looks so good and it still looks good. And it's been on for like 45 minutes now. I love this. I love this so much that I can promise you as soon as I finish filming this video, I'm going to throw away my IT Cosmetics CC Cream because it cannot compare. It cannot compare to this. I don't know how this is going to last. I will leave something in my description box letting you know what I think and if I think it lasts. I'm going to keep wearing this for the next few days and kind of test it out. But so far, this looks so pretty. So pretty. I love it. The Fenty eye brightener I like, but I definitely don't know that I can say I like it as much as the new NARS Corrector, but it could also be the shade. But I just don't think the Fenty one is as pigmented as this, which I prefer something a little more pigmented. But if you do not have a ton of discoloration, you would probably love the Fenty eye brightener. I like the finish. It's very hydrating. It's not thick or anything. Yeah, so that I don't know about just yet. I like it, but I don't know if I love it. Let's see, what else did we try? The eyeshadow palette, you guys. Obviously, this is another neutral palette. I personally don't think you can ever have too many neutrals. I just love them. But this, I am so impressed with. I am not super familiar with Sigma eyeshadows, but that really, really impressed me. Let's see, what else? The Kosas powder looks nice. Again, I don't have many thoughts on it. As of right now, it looks good on my skin. My skin does not look powdery at all. And I can still see a little bit of glow peeking through, so it didn't like mattify my face entirely. And it looks pretty good under my eyes also. It doesn't look dry or cakey. Let's see, what else? Okay, the NARS Bronzer, love. I had a feeling I was going to though, because I love Laguna in the powder form. Also, so far, loving this cream blush and highlight from Girlactik. I'll be curious to see how this wears, because you know how cream blush in general, a lot of times doesn't last super well on your skin. So I'll be very curious to see how this one does. But this color in La Vie, this is the perfect like sun-kissed blush color to me. And the highlight, super gorgeous as well. That was about it. Love this lip combo. It's a nude lip combo, so if you have nude lip, you don't need to run out and buy this, but I do like it. Love the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. As always, the concealer from Tom Ford. This I'm not sure about. It looks good under my eyes. It's kind of hard to judge a concealer just after using it one time, but I do like how it looks right now. So I'll be curious to see if it holds up throughout the day and it, you know, doesn't start wearing off and looking kind of icky under my eyes. But so far, I like it. I'm not obsessed though, like I am with the CC Cream. And yeah, I think that is about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. One other thing I did want to share with you is this that I'm wearing. This is actually a bodysuit. I'm not really into showing my outfit, so I don't really know how to do this, but this is a little cotton bodysuit from Gap, and it is so cute and comfortable. I am kind of getting into bodysuits now, and I got this one from Gap, and it was so inexpensive. I think it was like $9 or $10. Comes in a bunch of colors, but if you want something really comfortable, has spaghetti straps, they are adjustable. This is the dark brown that I'm wearing, but it comes in black, white, gray, and a few more colors, but I'm obsessed with it. Yes, I do have it on with high-waisted gray shorts because, you know, I don't need to wear jeans to sit here and film, but I did want to share this. I'll link it below for you if you want to look it up and see the colors it comes in. I really like this so far. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of these products, and if you have or want to try any of these things, let me know in the comments. I will link all the products as well. I do have affiliate links now in my description box, which I'm so excited about. So if you do shop through those links, I do earn a small commission, and thank you if you do. I appreciate you so, so much. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And go follow me on Instagram at simply.blair. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.
Sunday morning, waking up with you. We got no plans, we got nothing.